Hello, art lovers. Imagine entering a museum all quiet with that typical air of, yes, today I feel quite cultured, when suddenly you find yourself in front of a half-naked old man with the look of someone who has just lost patience because his packet of biscuits got stuck in the vending machine. Except, it's not a packet of biscuits he's holding, it's his son.
What?
Yes, you heard right, his son. And the old man isn't the angry grandfather yelling for the missing snack, but none other than Saturn, the god of time. Welcome to the magical world of Francisco Goya and his cheerful little painting, Saturn Devouring His Son. A nightmarish scene. First of all, a bit of mythology for those who haven't done their homework. Saturn in Roman mythology, Kronos for Greek friends, had a small anger management problem. He had been predicted that one of his children would overthrow him, so, in his infinite divine wisdom, he thought it best to eat them one by one as soon as they were born. Let's say Saturn wasn't exactly a champion of parenting. Now, this painting, which is part of the famous black paintings created between 1819 and 1823, is not exactly what you hang above the fireplace at home, unless you want to give your guests a heart attack, of course. Originally painted directly on the wall of the artist's house, yes, right next to the living room, we suppose, it was later transferred to canvas. Why? Maybe Goya didn't want to pay the owner's deposit when he left the house. Or maybe he wanted everyone to enjoy his brilliant visual humor. The charm of the grotesque. At this point, you might be wondering, but why would someone paint a half-naked old man eating his sons? Excellent question, dear viewer. Francisco Goya, in the last years of his life, wasn't doing so well. Good old Goya was deaf, sick, and to be honest, quite disappointed with humanity. Understandable considering the historical period in which he lived. And so, instead of opting for a quiet retirement, he decided to transform the walls of his house into a theater of horrors with dark and distorted images. Goya, through Saturn, doesn't just paint a mad and hungry god, but reflects on something much deeper and disturbing. Time. Yes, time. That thing that devours all of us, day after day, meal after meal. Isn't it fantastic? A nice reminder to start the day. Eye on the details. Let's now move on to the art detective part, because we can't help but notice some decidedly interesting details in this painting. First of all, if you look closely, you'll notice that Saturn doesn't exactly look relaxed while eating the poor little son. In fact, he looks more surprised, as if he had just realized at the last minute that he was chewing something a bit too crunchy. Another curious aspect is the lack of blood. Yes, there's not a drop of red in sight. Perhaps Goya wanted to emphasize the spiritual side of the scene, even though spiritual and cannibalism don't really go hand in hand. Or maybe he just wanted to save on red paint, which at the time cost an arm and a leg. Finally, Saturn's gaze. That mix of anger, fear, and desperation could also represent something else. According to some critics, Goya might have wanted to represent not only the myth of Saturn, but also an allegory of power. In short, the powerful who, for fear of losing control, destroy everything they hold most dear. As if to say, if I can't have the throne forever, then no one will. The mystery of the black paintings. But wait, the mystery doesn't end here. One of the most intriguing theories concerns the very nature of the black paintings. We don't know exactly why Goya painted these gloomy works. Were they the product of a tormented mind or a criticism of the society of the time? And why paint Saturn in such a raw and frightening way? Maybe it was just a joke? Goya, exasperated by life, thought of leaving this painting to make scholars discuss for centuries. If so, mission accomplished. Some say that Goya had lost hope in human reason, that he saw the world as a place dominated by darkness and madness. And what's crazier than a god eating his children? But perhaps, just like Saturn, we are all a bit devoured by time and the fear of what the future holds for us. A meal we won't forget. So what does Saturn devouring his son teach us? Well, besides making us understand that Greco-Roman mythology wasn't exactly great for bedtime stories, this painting shows us the dark side of the human condition. Goya, through this brutal scene, forces us to confront our deepest fears, loss, madness, the inexorable passing of time. And if you look carefully... No, there's no hidden hope in a corner of the painting. Just a damn old man having a snack with his sons. So the next time you observe this painting, remember that if you're a deaf, sad painter disappointed with humanity, painting disturbing scenes, might be a great way to leave an indelible mark in the history of art. Oh, and if you're feeling a bit down today, think that at least you had the luck of not having Saturn as a parent.